Fine, good morning to you all students. Hi students, how are you? I hope you all are fine. Students, have you all studied chapter 6? So till we have completed chapter 6. So have you all studied chapter 6? Last class I have completed chapter 6 as well as I marked the question answers for chapter 6, isn't it? So have you all studied? Studied or not? So please study daily portions as well as each chapter study thorough. Okay. So welcome to our today's online class students. So today we are going to study about a new chapter, chapter 7, composition and decomposition. Okay. So what's the title of our chapter? Composition and decomposition. Okay. So first itself I said chapter 6, chapter 7 as well as chapter 8 are related to one another. Okay. So what are the things you have studied in chapter 6 that is related to this chapter only? Okay. So in chapter 6 what topic you have studied? Specification as well as abstraction. Isn't it? So now this chapter onwards you are going to study about composition and decomposition. Okay. So what do you mean by composition? So already we have studied about statement, algorithms, isn't it? So what do you mean by algorithm? Particular task, if you are doing particular task, that task you are giving in form of some statements or some sentences. For example, drawing a column, there are lot of steps are there. So each and every steps you are giving in a statements, isn't it? So that only they are telling in the first point. So algorithm consists of statements. What do you mean by statements? So instructions. So in last chapter you studied in specification. So what are the steps in specification you studied? First you need to name the algorithm. Then input and outputs you need to give. Then property of the input. So that is each and every step consists of sentences or statements. So algorithms contains lot of statements, isn't it? So this chapter onwards you are going to study about composition. So you know about statements. What do you mean by statements? Instructions. So for example, to prepare a coffee, what are the instructions you will give? Take a bowl. Then pour the water into the bowl. Switch on the gas stove. So these are the instructions. So that only we are calling as an what? Statements. Okay. So these statements we are grouping into a particular thing. That group of statements we are called as compound statements. Okay. The statements we are going to group into a which statement? Compound statements. Compound statements are nothing but, so it will give the structure of the algorithm. What do you mean by the structure of the algorithm? For example, so if you are writing 5-mark question. So what's the structure for writing 5-mark question? Detailed question. Consider one detailed question you are going to write. So in that detailed question, 5 paragraphs or 5 subheadings will be there. So what's the format you will write? First you will put a heading as an answer. Then main heading. Then some points you will write. Then subheading, 5 subheading. First subheading, some points. Then second subheading, subpoints. Likewise, each subheading you will write as a points. That's the structure of a particular detailed question. Likewise, the statements also you need to give as a hierarchical structure. What do you mean by hierarchical? Hierarchical means some order wise. Okay, just like a tree structure. Or one by one another. First thing, second thing, third thing, next thing. Okay, that's a hierarchical structure. So the statements you are going to group into a which statements? Compound statements. So what's the use of compound statements? So it will give some structure for the algorithm. Okay. So here you are going to study about composition. So in composition, another one technique called decomposition. Okay. So what do you mean by that one means? Last chapter itself we have studied about composition, isn't it? So decomposition means it is one of the problem solving technique. So what do you mean by decomposition? It is one of the which technique? Decomposition is the problem solving technique. So what's the use of this decomposition means? So it will break the main thing into a smaller parts. For this one best example, last chapter I said. So if you are going to study one detailed question, so that detailed question will contain nearly 200 lines or 100 lines. You are feeling tough to study the detailed question. So you will split as a paragraph and paragraph wise. So each paragraph we are calling as an what? Functions. Are you remembering in the last chapter? So if you study the last chapter means you can remember this one. Likewise, so decomposition means it will break main algorithm is there. So it will break the main algorithm into a smaller parts. Okay. So each algorithm or each parts will represent some details. Okay. So full algorithm, for example, one algorithm will be there. That algorithm will contain 200 lines, like a paragraph question. So that algorithm you are going to split into a smaller parts. Okay, that full algorithm will contain many details. For example, the same detailed question, for example, full detailed question if you write means only you will get the answer for the particular question. So you are splitting each paragraph. So each paragraph will have separate details. So if you need to get full details of the question, you need to arrange all the paragraphs, isn't it? Likewise, you are going to break algorithm into a parts. So that will contain full detail, that full algorithm. So, but you are breaking into a smaller parts, isn't it? So, each smaller parts will represent smaller detail. That means each parts will have some details. So, that one we are calling as an what? Function. Understand? This is the introduction about this chapter. So, so next we are going to study about notations for algorithm. Okay. So, already we have studied about algorithm. Isn't it? So, what do you mean by algorithm? Algorithm is a collection of statements. So, notation. What do you mean by notations? Notation means nothing but representations. Okay. So, what are the things, if you are going to write algorithm, what are the things you need to follow? Okay. So, in algorithm, you are going to represent algorithm in 3 different methods. Okay. How many notations are there to represent the algorithm? 3. Okay. So, what are the 3 notations mean? So, first one is programming language. Okay. So, what's the first notation for representing algorithm? Programming language. Second one is pseudocode. Okay. Third one is flowchart. So, what are the notations for representing algorithm? 3 things. What are they? Programming language, pseudocode, and flowchart. Okay. So, first thing is a programming language. Okay. So, after 9th chapter onwards, we are going to study one programming language. Okay. So, what's the use of this programming language? So, programming language, so you can able to execute the algorithm in computers. Okay. So, what's the use of programming language? So, you might have heard about C, C++, Java, .NET. So, Java, this and all already you might have heard. I think it's so this and all programming languages. So, what's the use of this programming languages means you can able to design new softwares, games, everything. Okay. So, this is a programming language, what is the notation for? So, one algorithm is right there. You are going to represent the same algorithm in a programming language. Okay. So, what's the use of programming language means you can able to execute the particular thing in a computer. Okay, understand? What's the use of programming language? You are going to execute particular thing in a computer. That's the use of programming language. Okay. So, next thing is a pseudocode. Okay. Pseudocode is similar to the programming language. So, if you compare to programming language, pseudocode and programming languages is similar. Okay. But what's the thing means? So, you can't be able to execute the pseudocode in computers. Okay. Only you can able to read and understand. That's the understanding for people. Okay. So, in best example, I'll say, for example, in physics, you will done lot of practicals in 10th standard, isn't it? So, for a practical, what you will do? First, you will write aim, then procedure, then tabular column, then diagram, then you will do the practical and write the result. That's a format. So, listen. So, in here, programming language means you will do the practical using device, isn't it? that is called what? Practicals for you. Likewise, with the device you are doing practical. Likewise, you are going to express the thing in or run the code in computer. That is called programming language. Okay, similar to what you are doing in practicals. Physics practical. Pseudocode means, so before you are going to do the practical, you will write as a procedure. What's the use of procedure? So instructions. So first you need to keep the, for example, what are the practicals you have in physics? Vernier caliper, I think isn't it? So in vernier caliper, what are the things you will write? So take the vernier caliper. So adjust the head scale reading. Then adjust the main scale reading. Write the least count. Okay, this and all you will write in procedure. So what's the use of procedure? Before you are going to do something that you are writing in your English language. What's the use of procedure? To understand for human purpose. Likewise, what you are going to execute in program, the same thing you are going to write as a theory. Okay, that only we are calling as an pseudocode. Understand? But it is similar to a programming language. Likewise, so what you are doing in a practical, that you are writing in a what? Procedure. Same thing. Likewise, what are thing you are going to implement in the programming language, you are write in a step-by-step manner, but you are not going to execute the pseudocode in computer. So what's the use of that pseudocode? You can able to communicate with the people, similar to the procedure. Okay. So next thing is a flow chart. So in a practical, consider same practical example. So first you will write aim, procedure over. After what you will do? Draw the diagram. So what's the use of diagram? So what are the practicals? Whatever you are going to do the practical, same thing you are drawing as a picture. That device you are drawing as a picture. So by seeing the picture you can easily understand. Similarly, what thing you are going to implement in a programming language, same thing you are representing in a diagrams or diagrammatic notation. What's the difference between theory and diagram? Which one is easy to understand? So same thing on diagram is there. Same thing you are explaining, same diagram you are explaining in 10 lines. For example, one block diagram is there. Same block diagram you are explaining 10 lines. So which is easy to understand? By seeing the diagram you can able to understand easily than the theory. Isn't it? Likewise, what are things you are going to implement in the programming language, same thing you are representing in a diagrammatic format. So that one we are calling as an what? Flow chart. Okay. So that only they are giving. So visual intention of flow of control. Flow of control means, so in a diagrams and all you will mark. Isn't it? Using arrow marks. So this is this one. Likewise, arrow mark you will mark everything. Likewise, it will show the flow of control from where the statements need to be executed. From first to last or middle to last. That's the flow of control. Understand? So how many notations you have studied for representing algorithm? 3. What are they? Programming language, pseudocode as well as flowchart. So okay, for studying this one, please remember that your practical examples, then you will never forget this one. Okay, programming language is similar to doing practical, pseudocode just like a procedure, flowchart just like a diagram. Understand? So next thing, you are going to study about each thing in a elaborated manner. Okay. So first one is programming language. So what's the use of programming language? So programming language, so you can able to express anything and you can able to execute the same thing in computer. So an algorithm is there. That algorithm, same thing you are writing in the programming format and you are executing that algorithm in computer. Okay. So what do you mean by program? Okay. So what do you mean by program means, so an algorithm or one theory you are writing, same thing you are expressing in some programming language. So in computer, lot of programming language is there. So one theory or one procedure is there. That procedure only we are calling as an algorithm. So in that algorithm, you are going to express in a programming language. Okay. Same thing, one theory is there. For example, adding two numbers. So you know, for a format of adding two numbers, what you will do? First you will give values for two numbers, a equal to 5, b equal to 10. Then what you will do? Perform addition, a plus b. After that, you will get the answer, c equal to 15. So this is the thing you know. The same thing you are going to express in programming language. Understand, that is called program. What do you mean by program? So algorithm, what algorithm is there? So that one you are expressing in programming language. That is called program. This is important 2 mark question. Otherwise they will ask for 1 mark questions also. What do you mean by program? And give some examples of program. So what do you mean by program? So algorithm is expressed using some programming languages in computer. That is called program. Okay. So there are a lot of examples are there in programming language. So here they are giving C, C++, Python. Okay. Why they have given C, C++ and Python means. So this year you are going to study a programming language called C++ from 9th chapter onwards. Okay. Next year 12th standard you are going to study about a programming language called Python. Okay. So lot of programming languages are there, but in your book they have given only 3 examples. What are they? C, C++, Python. So these are the examples for programming language. Okay. So next thing is a programming language is formal. So what do you mean by formal? So you might have studied about formal letter and informal letter in English, isn't it? So what do you mean by formal? So in programming language, what do you mean by formal means? So you are writing some programs, okay? So for you are writing some programs, that program should have some format. For example, maths, lot of formulas will be there, isn't it? So lot of to find the area of a circle, separate formula. Area of a square, separate formula. Area of a triangle, separate formula. So each and everything, separate formula. So you need to, for example, if they asked one question, so they have given some values and asking you to find the area of a circle. So which formula you will substitute there? Area of a circle. So in question they asked to find area of a circle. Whether you will write the formula for area of a triangle? No. So area of a circle means you will write the formula of area of circle, substitute the values and you will calculate. That's a rule in a maths. Likewise, in programs also, so the programming language have some rules. Understand? So the programming language have some formats or some rules. This like only you need to write the program. So while you are writing programs, that program should obey the grammar of the programming language. What do you mean by grammar? Means nothing but rules. So this line, this much space will be there. This line arrow, that quotes will come. This line semicolon will come. This line bracket will come. Okay, likewise, lot of formulas. In maths, you are calling as a formula, but in programming language, you are calling as a syntax. Understand? Programming language, you are calling as an syntax. The grammatical rules, we are calling as an what? Syntax. Okay, so only we are calling this programs as a formal. Formal means the program should obey whatever you have written in program. So that program should obey the grammatical rules or formats what they have mentioned. Okay, for example, they have given, so most of the lines will end with semicolon or punctuations. Okay, so that each even comma will be there means you should put comma. So if you miss comma means also that program will show some error. If you leave some space, for example, in between two words, you need to leave one space. Instead of one space, you are going to leave 3 spaces. At that time, if you are running the program will show error. Okay, so this and all very, very important. So the program should obey the grammatical rules. Okay, so only we are calling as a formal. Okay, what do you mean by formal? The program have some formats or structure. Okay, or some grammatical rules. So the program must obey the grammatical rules. Even some punctuations means the punctuation needs to put, space means space need to put. What are things necessary, that one you need to put. Okay, so that is called formal. So this programs does not allow informal style. What do you mean by informal? So informal style means as per your wish, you can't able to write. You can't able to write according to, for example, you are going to add 2 numbers. You can't able to write add 2 numbers. Substitute A equal to 5, substitute B equal to 10. So you can't able to write in your own words. For there, some format will be there. Okay, that only they are giving. So that's the informal style. So natural language. What are the natural language? According to your English or Tamil. According to your language, you can't able to write according to your wish. Based on the formats only you can able to write. Okay, so you are writing some algorithms in the form of programming language. So if you are running the program, so that program needs to translate to something to the computer. Okay, so who will do this translation? Okay, so for that each programming language will have translator. Okay, so in programming language the translator translates your program, whatever you are entering in the programming code. So it will translate the particular thing into the executable format for the computer. Okay, so in computer which format it will execute, based on the format the translator will change your programming code. Okay, what's the use of translator? So you might have seen some functions or some prayer meetings and all, some persons will preach in English. Same thing, some persons will translate in Tamil. So what's the use of translator? Same thing, they will translate in their language. Likewise, so if you are giving some codings in programming language, so that programming language itself have translator. The translator will translate the particular thing into the computer executable form. Okay, so if you have done any mistake in the program, so the translator can't able to do the translation. For example, adding two numbers. For example, I am telling. So there is a format. Sum equal to a plus b. So instead of sum equal to a plus b, simply you are giving equal to a plus b. So there is one mistake is there. Sum equal to a plus b means there is a meaning is there. So you are going to add two numbers and storing the result in the value sum. So you are giving equal to a plus b. So there is a no meaning and there is a mistake will be there. So likewise you are giving some errors or grammatical mistake means the translator will not able to translate the thing. Understand what do you mean by why we are calling programs as formal and informal? Formal means programming language have some formats. Based on that formats you need to write the program. So similarly, in a formulas, how you are substituting the value, same ways. In programming language also have some formats. Based on that you need to write. Okay, even some mistake will be there. So that also you need to, the programming will mention. So you can't able to write according to your language. That means informal style. Natural languages you can't able to write according to your wish. Okay. So if you are entering the algorithms in a programming language, each programming language will have a translator. So the translator will translate the codings into a computer executable form. Okay. So if you are giving some errors in the program means the translator will can't able to do the translation. Understand? Yes. Till now we have studied about programming language. So next thing you are going to study about pseudocode. Okay. So pseudocode already we have studied. Pseudocode is similar to the programming language. So here you can able to communicate with plain English language. So in pseudocode already is said. So if you are going to do one practical, just like a procedure. So procedure how you will write? Procedure you will write in a theory with normal English. So place the device, take the vernier caliper, adjust the reading. So normal English you will write. Isn't it? That's a plain English. Likewise, pseudocode also like a programming language, but it can able to communicate with the user to plain English. Okay, but here that's important. Here pseudocode need not to give a formal. What do you mean by formal? You have studied in programming language. Formal means it should follow the grammatical rules like a formulas. You need to substitute. Likewise, so programming language needs to follow grammatical rules. But pseudocode, it is not a formal. Okay, you no need to follow the just like a grammatical rules. Okay, so we are calling pseudocode as a not formal. Okay, so here in pseudocode you can able to use in programs variables. Inputs you can able to give us variables. Okay, so last chapter we have studied about variables. What do you mean by variables? Variables are named boxes to store values. A equal to 5. So A is a variable to store the value 5. So this pseudocode can also able to use variables and control flow. What do you mean by control flow? Flow of control. So last chapter you have studied control flow, 3 statements. What are they? Are you remembering? Sequential, alternative and iterative. So this pseudocode will support variables as well as control flow. So statements need to execute in which order? That is called control flow. Okay. So here in pseudocode you can able to give as per your normal English language you can express the statements. What are the conditions is there? Conditions and statements, everything you can express using normal English language. Okay. But pseudocode you can't able to execute the computer directly. Okay. So what's the use of pseudocode? Pseudocode can able to give the information or interaction between users and the algorithm. Just like a procedure. What's the use of procedure in practical? By reading the procedure, any humans can easily understand this practical needs to do like this. Likewise, pseudocode. So you can express by your own English. By reading that one, any user can know. So this program, this is a format or this one you are going to implement. Okay. So main use is to human readers to understand. Okay. For understanding the same coding for humans. That's the main purpose. But you can't able to run this pseudocode in the computer. So next thing you are also no need to follow any grammatical rules to write the pseudocode. Okay, but the format need to be there. For example, so procedure if you are writing means first you should starting from initial, isn't it? So take the vernier caliper, adjust the reading. Whether you will write the last step at the first? No. Order wise only you will write step by. Likewise, so pseudocode also you can write as a correct format. Okay, so this is why we are using pseudocode means this is one of the important notation to represent the algorithms. Understand? So what's the thing? What are the things you have studied in pseudocode? Pseudocode just like a programming language. So it will give. So just like a programming language, you can able to give the information in normal English. So mainly used for human understanding purpose. Here no need to follow any grammatical rules to insert this pseudocode. Okay. So and also you can able to involve or insert variables for inputs and flow of controls also, flow of statements also you can able to give here. So this is also one of the notations used to represent algorithm. Okay. So next thing is a flowchart. This is very very important. Okay. Flowchart. So this chapter you are going to study elaborated about this topic flowchart. Okay. And it's very very easy only. So listen. So what's the use of flowchart? It is a diagrammatic representation. Okay. So it's a use of flowchart. Flowchart is a diagrammatic representation for representing algorithm. Okay. So what are things you are going to type as a program in computer? Same thing you are going to draw in a diagram with flowchart. So in this flowchart, there are lot of rules will be there. Okay. So lot of rules like a programming, lot of rules will be there. So if you are going to draw this flowchart, you need to follow that rules. By using that rules, you can able to give the flow of control. Okay. So listen carefully. In flowchart, what are the things you need to follow or what are the steps you need to know? Listen carefully. So it's very very important. In flowchart, so if you see rectangle, what's the use of rectangle box mean? So it will represent symbol statements. Okay. So if you are giving any symbol thing, symbol statements. For example, sum equal to a plus b. Just like a symbol statements if you are giving means you need to give the statement in which box? Rectangular box. This is all very very important. Okay. So what's the use of rectangular box? So rectangular box is used to give symbol statements. Next thing, diamond shape box. Okay. So if you are giving any conditions to check true or false. So this condition is true or this condition is false. Okay. So check the condition either true or false. You need to use which box? Diamond shape box. Okay. So what's the use of diamond shape box? To check the conditions. And next thing. So arrow mark, okay. So what's the use of arrow mark means? So it will represent the flow of control from where to where this program will flow. That means which order. First line, second line, then third line like this. Flow of control from where to where the program will execute. Okay. So listen, these are the way. This is very important in flowchart. So in flowchart, three boxes you got, two boxes. Lot of things are there. Okay. So they have given only simple things. Flowchart, rectangular box means it will represent a symbol statement. If you are giving symbol statement means that one you need to give in rectangular boxes. Same thing. If you are going to check any new condition means, so that condition you need to give in which box? Diamond shape box. Okay. Then that means flow of control. What do you mean by flow of control? So simply box will be there. So you need to connect the boxes with arrow marks. So that arrow marks will represent the flow of control or that algorithm, how you are going to, the algorithm will execute in computer. Okay. So simply we can call the flowchart is a collection of boxes. Why? So each and everything we are giving inside the boxes. So they are calling flowchart is a collection of boxes. So each box contain what? Statements and conditions. Please understand and study. This flowchart is a very important question. So flowchart we can call flowchart is a collection of box. Why? The flowchart will contain lot of boxes. So each box will contain lot of statements as well as lot of conditions. So statements is there, condition is there, box is there. Now connection need to give. So the each boxes will be connected by using arrows. Okay. So what's the use of these arrows? In which order the boxes need to be executed. Understand? So what's the definition for flowchart? Flowchart is a collection of boxes. So the boxes, each box will contain lot of statements and conditions. So each boxes will be connected using arrow marks. So these arrows will show the order, in which order the boxes need to execute. Understand? So listen. So what are things you have studied? The same thing they are giving in picture format. So already you have studied rectangular box. Okay. So a rectangular box, how you need to give or represent in a flowchart means. So see, this is a rectangular box. So this rectangular box will contain any one statement. Okay. So what are the things they have included in rectangular box? Rectangular box will contain statement. Any one statement you need to give. So for that simple example, they have given the statement, they have denoted with the letter yes. So in the rectangular box, they have given the statement called what? Yes. So, and also next thing, so this rectangle box will have single outgoing arrow. See, the arrow is entering here as well as the arrow is going outside. So this rectangular box will have which arrow? One outgoing arrow. Okay. So what's the meaning of this one means? So after first this box need to execute. So after one more box is there means, so first this box execute. Then the arrow is going there. So next box need to be executed. So what's the use of this arrow? It will point which or box need to be executed next. Understand? Understand? So what's the use of rectangular box? So each and everything very important. Okay. So please listen carefully and study now itself. So what's the use of rectangular box? Rectangular box will contain statements. Any one statement. So here they have mentioned the statement in letter yes and also one outgoing arrow. See, outgoing arrow. So what's the use of this arrow? So this arrow is to represent next which box need to be executed. Understand about the rectangular box? Yes. Next thing is a diamond shaped box. See, this is called diamond shaped box. Okay. So this diamond shaped, what's the use of diamond shaped box? Condition. So if you are going to check any condition, so that condition you need to give in which box? Diamond shaped box. Okay. So this diamond shaped box have two outgoing arrows. Okay. So how many outgoing arrows will be there for diamond shaped box? Two. See. So here also one outgoing arrow is there. Down also one outgoing arrow is there. Okay. So each outgoing arrow will be labeled as, one arrow will be labeled as true and next arrow will be labeled as false. Okay. So this is a condition. So what's the use of diamond shaped box? So diamond shaped box will check the condition. So in this condition, how many this diamond shape, how many arrows will be there? Two arrows, two outgoing arrows. That's important. Don't write incoming arrows. It will contain two outgoing arrows. One arrow will be labeled with true and another outgoing arrow will be labeled as false. Okay. So you are checking any one condition inside this one. Okay. You are checking any one condition. So if the condition is true means only this arrow mark. Okay. That means after this arrow, what are the things they have given? Only that alone execute. This false arrow mark won't get execute. Understand? So if you are checking some condition, so that condition is true means which arrow mark will execute? This true arrow mark. That means after this arrow, what are the statements you have given? That only executed. So this false arrow mark won't get execute. Sometimes the condition becomes false. False means only the false arrow will execute. This true arrow mark won't get execute. So what are the things you have given inside the false? That only will execute. Understand? So what's the use of diamond shaped box? It will check the condition. So here they are denoting the condition in the letter C. So this diamond shaped box will have two arrow marks pointing outwards. So each arrow mark will have two conditions, either true or false. So if the condition is true means only the true arrow mark will, the arrow mark points to true. That statement will execute. The false won't get executed. Sometimes the condition becomes false means the statement given in false needs to execute and the true won't get executed. So understand the use of a rectangular box as well as diamond shaped box. So next thing is parallelogram. Okay. So always you will use parallelogram to give inputs and outputs. For example, adding two numbers. How many inputs you need to give? Adding two numbers, A comma B. So A comma B, two inputs. So that input you need to give in parallelogram box. So as well as output, C equal to 15. After adding, you are storing the resultant C equal to 50. So that is the output. That also you need to store in parallelogram box. Okay. So what's the use of parallelogram? So parallelogram is used to give inputs and outputs. Understand? Next thing is special boxes. So this one we are calling as an, so see the corners are some rounded corners. The rectangular box with rounded corners. Okay. So curved corners, otherwise curved corners. So this one we are calling as an special boxes. Okay. So this special box we are calling as an start and end. So the flowchart will have start as well as end. So to indicate the start of an execution as well as end of an execution. Start means this algorithm going to start or this programming going to start. That's the use of start. End means the algorithm going to exit now or end now. That's the use of end. Okay. So to represent the start and end, so you are using which box? This curved shaped rectangular boxes. Okay. Understand? So what are the things you have studied in a flowchart? So flowchart, 4 types of boxes you have studied. What are they? Rectangular box to give statements, then single statements. One outgoing arrow is there, rectangular box. Diamond shape box to check the condition. So there are two conditions will be there, true or false. Then by a parallelogram box is used to represent inputs as well as outputs, and also some special boxes. So special boxes are used to indicate start and end of an execution. Okay. So up to this today's portion over. Okay. Tomorrow we can continue next thing. So last 6th chapter detailed question. Last detailed question you didn't write, isn't it? So please take a paper or computer notebook. Now you write the last question. Okay. Please take your computer notebook. So have you all taken your computer notebook? So this is the third detailed question answer for the 6th chapter. So on the day we have marked the question answers, but you have, there's no enough time is there. So I have marked till second detail. Third question you are not written. So please write it now. This is the third detailed question. Question no need to write. So the question is there in your book. Please write the answer. Third detailed question. So answer starting from here. Third detailed question. Answer is starting from here. Write it. Write fast. Write fast, okay? Write fast. Write it. So this is the answer for third detailed question, okay? So don't done any blunder mistake, write as it is. So what I have mentioned, same thing you need to write, okay? So write fast. Third detailed question for chapter 6, this one. So write fast. Write fast. Completed? Okay, write fast. So today I have taught about chapter 7, isn't it? So please study chapter 6 thorough today, okay? So detailed question, 3 detailed question is there. So and also extra questions I asked you to study. What's designing algorithm, design technique, as well as building blocks of algorithm in 6th chapter. So today's homework is please study this 3 detailed question as well as 3 more questions, okay? 3 more questions as well as 3 detailed questions you should study and write, okay? So next class we can continue the remaining things, okay? So thank you students, thank you.